Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. I got a few new finds to share with you today. Thought I'd crank out a quick one before the new arrivals pile gets too big. First off the bat though, I want to direct your attention to a couple of new channels in the vinyl community on YouTube, or relatively new, that maybe some of you haven't discovered yet. Paul, over in the Netherlands I believe, his channel name is XJunkieNL. I'll put a link in the comments below. If you like jazz, funk, soul, he's got all that and more. He's got a great knowledge and enthusiasm for music, and you should check his channel out for sure. Eric Medeiros, he's another one that's been doing a few videos. He's getting up there. Check him out if you haven't yet. So that out of the way, let's get into some finds. There's an antique mall down the road for me. Once in a while I find a few things there. Some 7-inches I was showing you a few videos back. So I went out there a week or two ago, and they have some kind of dollar bins out the front, or actually 4 records for $5. Usually there's nothing in there, but this time I found this one, Sarah Vaughan's Golden Hits. This is a Birchmount Canadian pressing. This originally came out in the early 60s, I think. That's an early 70s reissue, but just very, very clean condition. So I was kind of surprised to find these in the dollar bins. Another one was Del Shannon, Little Town Flirt. Of course, that's got his big hit Runaway on there, as well as the title track, Hats Off to Larry, kind of all his big ones on there. That's on quality, Canadian pressing. Again, very nice condition for the age. Very happy to grab that for $1. And I got this one, Mahalia Jackson, Newport 1958. This is in extremely clean condition for its age. It is a 6i Columbia. And you always see her records in the thrift stores and bargain bins. Nobody seems to be picking up on them too much, but incredible singer. I guess people don't deal with the gospel subject matter too much, but for me, I kind of read a social subtext into it. When she's got songs called I'm on My Way, it's not hard to read kind of a civil rights kind of code or hidden subtext in there. And that concert apparently was held in a torrential downpour that year, and when she came on stage and started her first song, the rain stopped and then started again when she was done. Kind of eerie, but incredible voice. If you haven't picked up on her, check her out. A few thrift finds. There was a big haul at the thrift store last week, I think it was. Unfortunately, a lot of it not in great condition, but I did sort of manage to pick these ones up. Some of the covers are not that great, but the records are quite good shape. Charlie Daniels, T. John, Grease, and Wolfman. An early one from him. Originally came out in '72. This is a '78 reissue. And another one from him, Fire on the Mountain. Now he's more known as country. He's one of the great fiddle players. But his early albums, there's a lot of southern rock, kind of boogie kind of beat. And hard rock actually on that earlier one too. This one was there, Emmylou Harris, Cimarron. It's from 1981, Warner Brothers. There's the back. Great country singer. I've got a few other ones by her. This one covers really bad. The record, I assure you, is quite decent. Alphonso Johnson, Moon Shadows. I've seen this one around before, never picked up on it. But he is from Weather Report. He's a bass player. And this is the sort of jazz, funk fusion you'd expect from a member of that group. Very nice album. I'll be looking for an upgrade for that one. I'd seen it around before, but just never picked up on it. Minnie Riperton. This is one of her, I think, second to last album, or maybe last. Released shortly before she passed away. This is her kind of getting into a little more of the disco mold. That's from 79, I'm thinking. Yeah, 79. Memory Lane, the big hit on here. Great singer. I think I'm only missing 1 or 2 now from her discography of her solo work. A couple by Tavares. Eric, you were talking about Tavares, or we were talking about them on the Facebook page. They're from your neck of the woods. I only knew they were from Cape Verde, which I was under the impression was in like Central America or something. I didn't know it was the Portuguese connection. But they are kind of a family soul singer band in the mold of like the Jacksons and the Silvers and those kind of guys. I know a few of their songs. I've never really checked out any of their LPs, but this one is In the City. I think this is their, yeah, this is their third LP from 1975, I'm thinking. Very nice, kind of very commercially oriented soul, I would say, but great vocals, very crisply arranged, great songwriting, great production. The big hit on here was It Only Takes a Minute, but they also cover Edgar Winter's Free Ride, so a bit of rock on there. And just a mix of ballads and more up-tempo, kind of funky disco, I guess you could say. And one other one by them was there. This is their fifth album, Love Storm, this one's called. Look at that. Matching shirts. How cool is that? So kind of similar format on here. Frida Payne does a guest vocal on one of the songs called I Want to See You Soon. And just really nice album. Nothing really too cerebral, I guess you would say, but just great vocals, great songs. Very very pleasing. I'll be looking for more of their early stuff for sure. And of course, you know I can't do a video without showing you some good old Jamaican music. I got a few mail order finds right here, or finds or pickups. These are 3 from the same producer. As I've talked about in Jamaican music, producers are kind of the main engine by which music gets created in Jamaica. The producers are the ones hiring the singers, hiring the studio time, getting the vocalists in, and just arranging everything. Not really necessarily too hands-on creatively, but they're involved in the financial and distribution part of the process. So this is a producer called Glenn Brown. These are reissues of some compilations that originally came out in the late 80s. They've just been reissued. I had these on CD for years. I think I got them sometime in the 1990s, and the CDs were out of print and hard to come by then. I think I got 2 of them on eBay or something, and had one on CDR or something. But they are back out on CD and vinyl, reissued. These are probably the best compilations ever done of Glenn Brown's work. He was a producer that started out in the early 70s. The 60s were kind of dominated by 2 main producers, Clement Seymour Coxon Dodd at Studio One and Duke Reed over at Treasure Isle. They were kind of the big 2. In the early 70s, you saw a lot of these scrappy, kind of upstart young producers break away from that and start doing their own thing, kind of very do-it-yourself. They would, and Glenn Brown is the perfect example of that. He would press up these singles and run off a run onto the next tune. Wasn't really into LPs too much. Many of the songs on these compilations were, as the liner notes mentioned, were never originally issued on an LP. Mainly into the singles. He's instrumental. Glenn Brown was one of the first to really exploit the use of versioning a rhythm track, which is to say he would get the musicians in, lay down a track, say release an instrumental of it, and then you would take the same track, maybe get a singer in, get a DJ in to do kind of a rapping part, maybe do a couple other instrumental versions. So instead of getting the band in and paying for studio time and paying the musicians and having one single, he would be able to release 4 or 5 and get more return from his investment that way. So that was, and that's been a function of Jamaican music ever since. So these are handily divided into vocal, instrumental, and DJ sides. And there's been some other compilations of his work since these originally came out, but never really been bettered as far as sequencing of the songs and organization. So first one here is Boat to Progress, and this has all the vocal singing sides. And the other one is called Check the Winner. This is the instrumental collection. See Tommy McCook, all those guys on there. Some familiar names. And then you have Double Attack with the DJ versions. with some greats including U-Roy, Big Youth, I-Roy. He would get all these top name guys in. Liner notes. It's compiled by Chris Lane over in the UK, who was a white English guy who started up the Fashion label, which was very successful in the 80s. So that's a great collection of songs from Glenn Brown. He was very active in the 70s, creating all this music, then immigrated to America. I believe he's still active in the New York area, but kind of dropped out of the music business for quite a while. And then I had one more find from that bookstore, which we'll close off today. And it was a pretty big one for me. I don't show a lot of hip-hop in my videos, but I do have a little small section of my one cube or whatever it is over there that is hip-hop. And if you watch my intro video, I think I probably talked about how I was pretty deep into hip-hop for a year or two there before getting into the reggae more fully. So I popped in this antique mall, or not antique mall, bookstore, where I found a few things recently, and they had this one, Public Enemy, Takes a Nation of Millions. I have Fear of a Black Planet on vinyl. I've never had this on vinyl. I did have the cassette, as well as Fear of a Black Planet on cassette back in the day. Used to cruise around listening to those. So I was very happy to score this one. It wasn't cheap, kind of wasn't super expensive, but practically mint condition. I believe it's original, Def Jam. Not much to say about this one. Game changer as far as hip-hop, as far as production, as far as lyrics. So that's all I've got for you today, guys. I will have another update for you very shortly. I've already got a few new pickups, but I want to kind of get a listen in and get some thoughts together before I start showing them in a video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you haven't yet, and you're just checking this out for the first time. And cheers, guys. Peace out.